हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज का टॉपिक है वेज ऑफ लर्निंग मैथमेटिक्स, जो कि बेस्ड रहेगा निos के जो डीएलएड स्टडी मटेरियल है उस पर बेस्ड है ये। तो वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए और बेल आइकन को प्रेस कर दीजिए ताकि आगे आने वाले वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन आपको टाइमली मिल सके। तो वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। There is no single and definite way of learning mathematics, even at the earliest stage of learning. From the previous discussions, you might have formed some ideas as to the nature of learning mathematics at the early days of schooling. In addition to those, here are some points regarding the characteristics of nature of mathematics learning as summarized by Whitebread. Mathematics starts from home learning established in the child before he or she comes to school. Mathematics is based on understanding. Mathematics puts great emphasis on the child's own methods of calculating and solving problems and rejects the previous practice of heavy emphasis on standard written algorithms. Mathematics is regarded as a powerful tool for interpreting the world and therefore should be rooted in real experience across the whole curriculum. Mathematics is brought out of the child's everyday situations. Mathematics with reason is rooted in action, learning through doing. Mathematics with reason puts less emphasis on representing numbers on paper as sums and more emphasis on developing mental images in the child. The main tool for child and teacher to employ in the mastery of mathematics concepts is language, not pencil and paper exercises from textbooks. The child is encouraged to talk about what he or she is doing. Errors are accepted as essential part of the mathematics learning process. The child, freed from the fear of criticism, will more readily experiment. From the preceding discussions, we have tried to focus on some basic ways related to the learning of mathematics during the early stages of school learning. These are the ways of learning which you can facilitate in the classroom situations. Manipulation of objects. As you have observed, it is through the manipulation of concrete objects that the children acquire the mathematical skills at the early stage. Acquisition of any mathematical skill at the early stage, like comparison, categorization, counting, fundamental four operations, cannot be possible without manipulation of concrete objects. Provision of a variety of objects, both familiar and novel, should be made available to children in the classroom for their free handling so that it would be easier for you to facilitate their learning of desired mathematical concepts. Placing task in meaningful context. In real situations where the mathematics serves real purposes, young children quickly and easily develop their own informal and largely effective methods. The difficulties start when they enter the school and are expected to operate in the abstract, to use formal pencil and paper routines and procedures, and to do mathematics for no clear purpose. Evidence from research about the ways children learn seem to suggest that what we need to do is to start with real problems and work from them to abstract representations. There are abundant opportunities in the everyday activities of young children to get themselves involved in real mathematics. Playing games, sharing sweets, grouping in the class for performing different activities, finding out the number of days it is to next school holiday are just as few such examples. With young children in particular, problems can be real yet essentially born out of imagination. Problems arising through imaginative stories and plays can often be even more vivid for young children than genuinely real life problems. Use of fairy tales, adventure stories, comic strips are some of the examples of materials that can fire imagination in children. While young children may be helped to develop their mathematical abilities and understandings by tackling real problems placed within contexts which are meaningful to them, it is important that they learn to depend less upon the support on such contexts. The same process or concept needs to be presented to them in a variety of meaningful contexts. In this way, by natural processes of induction, children are able to sort out the relevant from the irrelevant, and they are ultimately able to abstract for themselves the essential elements of the process or concept. All the while, we must keep in mind that mathematics gains its power from abstractness, and children need to be helped to become confident with drawing abstractions from the real and concrete experiences. Representation in multiple ways. Another important element which is required to help children move towards Abstract thinking in mathematics involves helping them to develop their representational abilities. As has been stated earlier, mental representation or simply representation is the mental imagery of the object, event, or process as perceived by the individual. It is now an established fact that children should be given opportunities to make their own representations of mathematical problems, processes, and procedures before they are introduced to the conventional symbols. It is clear that if children are to become able and confident in solving mathematics problems, they must be able to represent mathematics to themselves and to others in language and in mathematical symbols. Many mathematics educators now believe that it is important that children express their mathematical thinking in language through talk before they begin to represent it on paper and before they use mathematical symbols. James, reviewing the work of Brunner and others in the interrelationship between language and thought, propounds a mathematics teaching procedure which he terms do, talk, and record. This involves children in doing mathematics practically and then following a 5 step sequence of activities towards recording as follows. The learner explain their thinking to others. They demonstrate their mental images either by objects or by sketches. They record in writing the story of what they sketch show. They make successive abbreviations of the process they used. Finally, they can see the relevance of and adopt standard notations. While forming representations of the mathematical processes and procedures are important for concrete concept formation and solving mathematics problems, sharing one's representation and others in the class helps to explore different approaches for elaborating the process or procedures and to develop multiple representations. Developing alternative strategies. When the children can form representations, they can also develop ways to calculate and solve mathematics problems other than the prescribed ways given in the textbooks. That a child can evolve his own method of calculation stems from the observations of totally non schooled children performing calculations of various types required in their daily lives, which are different from those given in the textbooks. This lack of a relationship between informal and formal methods is a major cause of young children's loss of confidence with school mathematics. Developing new strategy may not be always possible for children, but whenever any child comes up with any new one, he needs to be reinforced. Searching for alternative strategy need to be a regular feature in the classroom transaction. After the discussion of any operation or procedure for solution of a problem, children may be encouraged to think of any alternate strategy of the one discussed in the class either individually or in groups. Problem posing. Solving mathematics problems and the process of problem solving, although are different, have a lot of similarity in understanding the problem. Suggesting and trying out different possible procedures of solution and solving the problem. Problem solving abilities can be developed when we encourage children in solving the problems independently or in groups without providing any direct support. Besides promoting problem solving abilities in children, they should be encouraged to pose problems. Posing relevant problems indicates the level of understanding of the concepts, processes, and procedures of mathematics. You should encourage such practices in the classroom as much as frequently as possible. आज का टॉपिक आई होप आपको वीडियो पसंद आई होगी. प्लीज़ इसे लाइक एंड शेयर ज़रूर कीजिएगा. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.